Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, for many people, the subject of retirement triggers a subconscious, what some would call ugly truth, I suppose. Ignorance about retirement has caused some to depend on external sources such as government and family for support in what is supposed to be the golden years. Well, the book Retiremeant, Get More Money from Your, or Get More Meaning from Your Money, brings the topic to the surface and brings about the necessary self-audit. Kim Potgieter, the director and head of life planning at Chartered Wealth Solutions, authored the book, and she's going to tell us all about it. Kim, you and I were chuckling a little bit behind the scenes, saying that, perhaps some might think they're a little bit too young to discuss retirement, but I suppose when you discuss retirement at your retirement age, it might be a little bit too late.
Just quite a few too many years too early. I mean, too late.
Too
definitely.
Late.
Yeah.
Kim, thank you so much for joining us. Let's get right into it now. What percentage of a person's earnings should be saved up for retirement, do you think?
Everybody loves to ask that question. It's the same as when they come in to see me and they're 55 and they say, how much is enough for retirement? It is a very difficult question to be answering, because if you have a different lifestyle to the one I'm having. I have different expenses, I have different dependents. So that answer is very difficult to say, but the earlier you start is always the better. And if you can be saving 20% of your salary, you know you're going to be all right. But very few of us can do that because we've got so many expenses. So I don't want to say that and then people say, well, I can't do that, so I won't do anything. Anything you can do is better than nothing.
And a number of South Africans are, starting off on a deficit, I suppose, because of the debt that we incur. And, we are quite infamous for being a nation that doesn't save as much as we should. But your book says retirement should be seen as a time of transitioning into a more fulfilling phase of enjoying a successful career in your twilight years. Isn't that an assumption that, I suppose, when it comes to at least South African workforce, that more people are struggling, in fact, to meet their needs at the moment rather than have surplus later? Isn't that perhaps an assumption?
Well, you see, for me, I was writing the book for people that I was seeing. I see people every single day and I help them plan their retirement. So they come to me and we're planning their retirements. The people that come and find me are generally the people that have taken care of their money. So yes, I have made an assumption in my book. Every book has to talk to one market. So I have, but I've given so many tips and other stuff for people who haven't necessarily taken care of their money on how they can find fulfillment and meaning in life other than not having a lot of money. So it's two-sided, but definitely my book talks more to people who have saved for their retirements. I'm not giving tips on how to save for retirement.
Okay, now, what I like about the book is that it's a lovely balance between those hard-hitting questions, number crunching, etc., but also a book about, the can I call it fluff of it all? You talk about Disney approach, and you can dream and dream big and go the extra mile and try and fulfill your dreams, etc. So it's a delicate balance between the two, is it not?
It is, but for me it was very important because I was seeing so many people that were living in fear. So they came to retirement, they saw it as this line in the sand, and they were in total fear, so they were forgetting how to enjoy life. So when they come and see me, we think out of the box, and we do a bit of Disney dreaming. What are some of your unfulfilled dreams you've got? Because people have got unfulfilled dreams, and they don't always cost money. I mean, playing the guitar when they were children, and now they've never picked it up again. They can pick it up again. So we explore all those deep dreams that are so hidden. So that's why we have to do the Disney dreaming, and we have some fun. We have a lot of fun together. And it's also for them to rediscover who they are, because they've been so busy working and supporting children and families and everything that they've forgotten actually what they are. And I think it's a wonderful period where you rediscover who you are.
Is it a bucket list of some sort?
Well, people call it the bucket list because of the movie. But working with clients, we've rechanged it to something called the bucket wheel. Because the bucket list, my clients were coming with holidays and all these trips, and it wasn't bringing as much meaning because you can only do so many trips and then you start looking for more. So we've developed the bucket wheel, and we go around ideas on purpose, ideas on health, ideas on relationships, ideas on learning, because all these aspects, as well as your money, as well as give back, all become vital so that you have something to retire to. When you're retiring from something, it's not as exciting as when you're retiring to something, so you start looking forward to it. and start planning for it.
And especially since many people who are of a certain age will lament the fact that they're discarded by society and no longer seen as relevant. You know, they're told they can't work anymore and they're not useful to society. So this is something that will give them a zest for life and a zeal to carry on. But my question to you up next is it ever too late to start saving up? And I know you're saying you're speaking to those who have already stashed some money away. But for those who are listening to the conversation and thinking, I'd like to make sure that my golden years are more productive, they're happier, they're healthier, how do I know that it's too late or too early to start saving?
Well, it all depends on when you want to stop working. So if you've got all these dreams that at 60 you're never going to work again and you're never going to bring in an income, or perhaps at 60 you're going to be involved in give back and not actually earning a salary, then you have to have started a lot earlier. But for many of us and many clients I see, we encourage them to carry on working. If you can carry on working, even if you're earning a smaller amount than you used to, and you're not eating into any money that you've saved, your money just lasts so much longer. So again, each meeting that I do with clients has to be on an individual basis. I can't make assumptions for anybody. I mean, so to say, it's too late, nonsense, because you're going to carry on working. So we have to make other plans. Perhaps you can live with somebody else. Perhaps you can sell your property. There's lots of ways that you might have got some capital that we have to work around, because not everybody's fortunate enough to have money just to live off.
Why did you decide to write this book?
Well, for me, it was very much, I lost both my parents before they got to retire. And I saw them for many years putting their lives on hold. When I retire, I'm going to do this. When I retire, I'm going to do this. 59, my father was killed in a hijacking. And I just thought so much of his life had been put on hold, and I was just, I needed to do it. It was something that came from inside that needed to be written.
I'm so sorry for your loss, just by the way.
Thank you.
But if anybody can take anything from our conversation today and what you've just told us about your book, what would you like that to be?
I think very much for me is to make each day count of your life, to not put things on hold. And this book, many 20-year-olds are reading it and coming back to me and saying, Kim, but it's just a transition. Retirement is a transition. It's not something different to other transitions. You've been through many in your life. If you embrace it with a plan and you look forward to it and you put the plans in place, it can be successful. Your attitude really makes a big difference.
Because aging is not the enemy, is it?
Absolutely not. Your attitude is, and the stuff that's going on in your mind. That definitely is.
And just lastly, perhaps for the majority of South Africa who's saying, I'd love to be able to do all the things that you're speaking of today, but really my little stash is minute and minuscule in comparison. What sort of advice would you have to say to them on how they can live their best life in their older years of their life, but still with very little?
I think when we are not selfish, when we are prepared to give of ourselves to others and make a difference in other people's lives, so much more comes back to our life. And if we have that attitude, our life will be wealthy, even if we don't have lots of money in the bank. And I believe in that strongly. And when you look at nations where people are living in their hundreds, and wherever the people are appreciated and they still feel like they're adding value, they're living healthier lives as opposed to just rich nations that are taking from society.
All right, retirement, get more meaning from your money. I butchered it a little bit earlier, so I have to reiterate now. Retirement, get more meaning from your money. It's a book by Kim Potgieter. Kim, where do we get this?
Exclusive books. You can get it off my website, kimpotgieter.co.za, and also, all the shops that's got it at the moment.
Do you give a little bit of advice on your website as well? Can people log on to that?
There's blogs that I'm putting in every day, and there's all free exercises to do. You don't have to have money to go and do those. They're all available for anybody to go and do.
Okay, so for those who are saying, Ayanda, you didn't ask this question or that question, go to the website, www.kimpotgieter.co.za.
That's correct, and I have another one called retiresuccessfully.co.za, and on that one I've got many different bloggers that give you advice on how to retire successfully, and that's available to anybody.
All right, Kim, thank you so much for that. We'll definitely make use of that website.
Thank you
so much. Have yourself a fantastic day. And
Me
there you
too.
have it. Retirement, get more meaning from your money. It's all about your mindset, I think, is why I cannot personally wait, actually, to become more mature.